All right, so I've restarted it once again, OBS Studios. I think that may actually be our problem. Right now I'm running version 20.0.1, which is the latest, and it's actually supposed to have fixed all these audio problems, but yeah, what are you going to do? So hopefully we got this thing resolved. We have a couple of cats
Yes, we
here.
do. We got
Oh,
two
the
of them.
cats are actually down there fighting at the moment.
Or play fighting anyway.
Yeah, we should say that.
They're
Play fighting. They're not
Yeah.
fighting.
Mm-mm.
I'm just waiting. I know it's buffering at the moment.
Wonder why.
Yeah, no, I was just waiting to get a better signal. What are they up to? The cats have got each other in a headlock right now. You guys can let me know if the audio's fixed. If it is, we'll get going. Hopefully that's fixed the problem. Oh, and it looks like it has. So go ahead and start asking your questions. Mom's here. If you guys have any specific questions, please ask her. And if you guys ask her, the more questions you ask her, the more apt she's to do this next time. So keep asking questions, especially to her.
All right.
Let's see. John, it seems to be fixed now. Good. Yeah, OBS Studio. What are you going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube. Let's see. Stephen Barber, how many times must I tell you to stop eating chipmunks? I'm sure it sounds like that. I can't hear it. I don't have an audio monitor set up. I'll have to take your word for that. Ruben, Parago, do you still have LT and Simon? No, unfortunately, Simon passed away about a year ago, and LT about 4 or 5 months ago. They both wound up having kidney disease and cancer, and yeah, it was nothing we could do. They were older. LT was 12, and Simon was 15 or 16, so they both had good lives. Let's see what else we got here. Got 8 watchers right now. But other than that, let's see. What were we up to today? We actually went out and ate at Texas Roadhouse earlier. They enjoyed that. Unfortunately, my chicken, I had the country fried chicken, and that was really, really tough. And it wasn't the chicken itself; it was actually the breading on the chicken was really over fried, and they have a tendency to do that at ours for some reason. And I actually sent it back because I had no choice. I got the second one, and that one was almost as bad as the first one. I think they just don't understand how to deep fry things.
Mine was good.
Yep. We're up to 10 watchers now. Do you still have the HP Windows 2000 PC and Windows 98 gaming system? Yes, I do. The Windows 2000 PC is usually my music server. I have all of my music saved on that for the most part, and I use that to play Winamp internet radio through. So yes, and then the Windows 98 system, I only usually use that during the holidays, and that's mainly to play Jazz Jackrabbit Holiday Hair 98 and 99 editions. Barbara McNamara, Mark McNamara, I can't even talk tonight. When living in New York, did Mom shop in Stop and Shop? A few times, right?
That was kind of out of our way where we were. We had what was the ShopRite? We had Wallbounds at the time.
Later AMP.
Yeah, and later AMP. But Stop and Shop, I think the only one was up in Wapages Falls, so I didn't shop up there.
Yeah, there was one in Scarsdale too, but that was really far away. That was probably 40 minutes from us. So it was ShopRite, ShopRite, Grand Union, Wallbounds, and later AMP were the ones that were really popular in our area, at least. And then, unfortunately, AMP and Wallbounds closed, and then Grand Union closed later on.
Oh, and Kroger came. No, not Kroger.
Hannaford, and that one's still there, as far as I know. Jonathan Dominic, do you happen to watch any videos from B Bishop PCM? Yeah, I do watch a few of his. He is a little long-winded for my taste. There are times he can droll on about a subject for like an hour, so I kind of skip through his videos a little bit. But yeah, I do. I remember. I think the last one I saw was when he got that Macintosh LC3, or either that or the Performa 474, and he was talking about restoring it. But yeah, I do on occasion. Ruben wrote, if people say Windows 10 sucks, do they get banned from my channel? No, they won't get banned from my channel. I'll disagree with them, but no, I'm not going to ban them from my channel.
Everybody's got their own opinion.
Exactly. Everybody is welcome to their own opinions.
Exactly.
AMP grocery stores. Yep. What did that stand for? You used to remember
I think it's
that.
Atlantic and Pacific. I worked for them when I was a teenager in high school. I was a checker on my junior and senior year.
Yeah, good.
I think
good
it's
store.
Atlantic and Pacific. If I
think you're right. I think you're right. I386 row. I still use Windows 7. Yeah, nothing wrong with Windows 7 as long as Microsoft keeps giving the security updates for them. I think the latest projection, like I said, was 2021 or 2022 is going to end the extended support. But until then, yeah, by all means, I would definitely use them. I am going to go ahead and try and answer a few questions that I've had from the more recent videos. Let me see if I can open this up here. Tell you something, since they went to the Creator Studio, everything's kind of gotten all messed up on my channel, but we're going to get there. All right, let's see. Sam Hodgson wrote, and this is a response to my last Garage Sale Finds video. Great haul. Think about buying a Dell Vostro 230 with a Xeon E5450 modded for an LGA 7.5 and 4 gigabytes of RAM for $45. I'm not sure how it will perform for basic video editing, though. Have you ever had any of the Dell Vostro systems similar to this? Yes, I actually had a Vostro 200 and a Vostro 400, and they were both very capable video editing rigs. Now, you got to remember, the more modern video editing programs, Adobe Premiere, Sony Vegas, all of those are going to require a system with much more power than that. But if you're going to continue to use something like a Windows Movie Maker like I generally use, then yeah, you should be fine with that processor. The Xeon processors are beasts. I've actually never owned a system with a Xeon, but they tend to be 30 to 40% more efficient and faster than their Core 2 Duo or even Pentium dual core counterparts. And of course, I'm talking about the quad cores as well. Let me see. Let me go back here for a minute. Oh, Tony Jones. Hey, Tony, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. He wrote, do you think there could be another Windows OS like Windows 11 or Windows Redstone if they continue to make more OSs in 2018? It's possible. The latest I've heard is Windows 10 is going to be the last quote unquote version of Windows Microsoft is going to release. And what they're actually going to do is I think they're going more towards what Apple's doing, like with Mac OS 10. They're going to release different versions of Windows 10, different builds, as they like to call them. Do I think there'll be another release of Windows past 10? I'd say it's possible. It may not be for many years to come. I mean, you're maybe talking 2021, 2022, but you know what? Anything's possible. But for now, I think they're just going to continue to improve on Windows 10. Because you got to remember, Microsoft is not necessarily making most of their money with the operating system itself anymore. They're actually making their money through the App Store or the Microsoft Shop. They're making a lot of money that way. And of course, now that Windows, Microsoft Office is a subscription service, they make their money that way as well. See, they're trying to totally revamp it. Instead of selling you the operating system and you buying the apps from a third party, owning them, basically, they're almost like renting them to you at this point. So their whole format is changing. But like I said, anything could happen in the future. Ooh, getting a lot of questions here. Barbara McNamara, do do we need Adobe and what does it do? Also, a good virus protection. Well, that's kind of a hard question to answer because Adobe makes so many different products. They make video editing suites, they make PDF readers, PDF writers. It just kind of depends on what you're going to be using. Not necessarily. And a good antivirus protection. I use Avast. I've used Avast now for about 7 or 8 years. It's free. They're for the free version. Of course, you can buy the Internet Security Suite, which I don't think I need. It just depends on what you're going to be using it for. But for the basic user, Avast free antivirus coupled with Spybot Search and Destroy, it's really all you need, and they are totally free. You never have to pay for it. Matter of fact, if you go and download it and it asks you to pay for it, then you're at the wrong site. Make sure you go back and look for the true download for Avast and Spybot. You read this one. Chris Bartlett, get your mom to talk. She is sitting there bored. Are you bored?
No, it's interesting.
She likes to learn about computers too. But yeah, if you guys listen, ask her some questions. She's open to answering some questions tonight. Let's see.
I should say thank you for caring, Tony.
Yeah, right. So we got 16 watchers right now. Well, I'm waiting on some more questions live. So let's go ahead and answer some more ones that were backlogged here.
I have to go look.
No, that's okay. Mom's going to look into some of the questions here.
Oh, wait. Got a flu shot, wasn't it?
Oh, Barb, this is a good one. Barb McNamara said, way too early for the flu shot. Flu is usually in January. Won't be as strong to you in January. Should wait until the middle or end of November. That's what Mom said. Yeah, I'll know better for next year. I really just didn't know. They were kind of pushing it out, and yeah. You know what? I'll have to see what happens. I don't usually get the flu, really. I'm just getting them because it's free with my insurance. But
I'm waiting.
I don't know. Yeah, she's gonna wait. She's gonna wait till.
I heard that last year, so that's why I'm waiting.
Now that I did some research, I heard that the at least in my area, the optimal time to get it is in December, because that way your body can acclimate to it for about a month or so, because around here January, February is really the worst of the flu, and you want to get it about a month before the flu is at its peak, because your body takes a while to acclimate to the vaccine. So December is definitely the best bet, at least in my area. It just depends on what part of the country you live in. I think as you go more north, you may want to wait a little bit later, because the flu peaks more around February, March, things like that. Let's go back to the dashboard here. Oh, here we go. Chris Bartlett, ask your mom what is the secret of getting your son to clean his room. My son is 12 and he has a little pig. What'd you used to do to get me to clean my room?
I don't know.
I think I remember.
Okay, maybe you're better than I am. My memory's gone.
She used to take away TV privileges. That was one thing she did.
That was one thing that worked with
me. And with me, it also worked dessert. Taking away dessert. Because food was always a big motivator
you were never
for
that
me.
bad. You were always pretty neat, because I'm very neat, so I just wouldn't tolerate.
I was fairly neat when I was young.
Pretty neat. He always took care of his own room, vacuumed, dusted at a young age.
That's right. Oh boy, let's see what else we got here. Oh, here we go. Hey Matt, next winter, do you want to go to Los Angeles? This is Ruben again. I hope you ride the Red Line to Hollywood for winter. Los Angeles is the most popular city in California. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. I'll be honest with you. It may be a couple more years before I head out west again. It all depends. If a job opportunity opens up, I may be heading out that way. But I've literally had 3 vacations this year. And budget and time wise, I need to concentrate more on on a career, basically, at this point. Okay, just James. Matt, please talk about a low interest mortgage. I remember I had mentioned that. Yeah, I remember I mentioned that a few vlogs ago, and I haven't been able to find too much more information about it. At least it's a local company in my area called the Lending Store. And basically, what they're offering, and I don't know if you can get it where you are, but at least in this area, they offer what's called the 1% down mortgage. Basically, whatever your house is. So I guess at $150,000, that would be $1,500. Yeah,
Yes.
and you do 1% down, and I think the interest rate was like 3.65%. But just look that up. That's the best thing I could tell you to do, because I know that kind of stuff fluctuates. I don't know. I don't think that's something they offer all the time. As time rolls around, I get more serious about finding my own place. Then I'll probably be able to tell you a little bit more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Bartlett, I see Eric is over in Ohio this morning. Eric Brunhammer, yeah. Yeah, they went out for a little vacation. I'm really glad he did too, because he really deserves it. He works very hard from what I can tell. And yeah, he definitely deserves a break. And of course, that's one of my favorite things, is to travel. We go upstate to my uncle's, upstate New York, which is from here about a 520, 530-mile drive, which seems like a lot, but we enjoy it. We take our time. We stop at the flea markets, the garage sales, and that's why we usually go up Saturdays. That way.
Did you tell we saw?
Oh yeah, Eric? Yeah. We did see Eric. We did see Eric when we went up. We stopped at the Newcastle Farmers Market, and we had lunch together, and it was a very enjoyable experience. And traveling to me has always been very enjoyable.
Going to be trying to be a vegan?
No, definitely not. Who asked that? Who was asking?
Somebody's asking about being vegan.
Hold on, let me see if I can. I was going.
Militant vegan.
Man, I know him in healthy eating due to wanting to lose some weight. Your own admission. Have you considered being a vegan?
A vegetarian?
Or a vegetarian? You know what? I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I'm too much of a meat eater. I do like vegetables. I love the lentil soup that I made. And I do eat a lot of vegetables, but no, I couldn't live without my meat. I'm sorry. I just couldn't.
Or your dairy.
Or my dairy. Yeah, excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, sorry. Allergies again. I love driving, but when I go to the Philippines, I ride my motorbike everywhere. Chris Bartlett. That's got to be interesting. I think you'll have to tell me where you're from again. Originally, I forget, but yeah, I've only ridden a motorcycle once, and it was one of those Honda. They call it a scooter, but it was really big. To me, it was like a small motorcycle, and it was scary. I don't have the best balance, so for me to ride a motorcycle, I don't think it's going to happen. But you know what? You never know.
I think it's kind of dangerous around here.
It is
kind of a lot of traffic.
It is very dangerous around here because the streets, there's a lot of traffic. We do have some very narrow roads, and we have some crazy drivers, as you guys have seen in some of my Bad Drivers of Hampton Roads videos.
True. Here's a couple.
Okay, he's from Australia. Okay, that's right.
Awesome, and has Philippines, Australia. That's nice.
That is a beautiful area. I'd love to get out there sometime, at least for a visit.
I'd love to go to Australia. I hear it's beautiful.
Here's Tyler. I got my mortgage at 1.9%, but it's the government loan, which is not too fun, but anything to save money. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. That's a really, really good deal for a mortgage. So that's what Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac is that what they call that? I think it's one of the two. Again, I'm not great with mortgages.
What happened to the scooters?
You and your mother had at the beach. We still have those.
What scooters?
Yeah, the ones that we take on vacation with us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we brought them. One interesting thing, when my husband and I went cross country, we had them on back of our trailer. We took them with us and never used them. Because it was just out in the west, the roads in the campgrounds was just so dusty and dirty, and we just didn't want to take them out and just rile up the dust and everything, and we wound up never really using them. I think though, if we go away for like a week somewhere and we stay somewhere like a solid week, we'll use them then.
Yeah, I think that the problem with it, especially in the West, is with all the dust, it could get kicked up into the motor and could cause motor failure. And one of those scooters, we had a lot of issues with the motor originally. Matter of fact, Dad had to redesign the actual chassis of the scooter to make it so the battery would last longer. So,
Hmm.
but around here shouldn't have that problem. It's not.
Right.
It's dirty and dusty, but it's not nowhere near as bad as out in the desert.
Right. Right.
Oh, you got a question there.
Oh, I do. Ms. Roy, do you have any tips
Tips
for
for
awesome
awesome
chili?
chili.
I'm planning to make some. You know what? My husband makes chili. I don't usually make it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big chili person because I don't really like beans too much. I'll eat a little of it, but my
Mhm.
husband, we'll have to catch him the next time Matt does a
A
live
live
stream,
stream
and you can ask
because
him
he'll tell
because
you
in our family he makes the chili.
he does really good job. I will tell you this. I know that when he and I did chili last time, we kind of argued on the amount of seasoning. He kind of makes his chili a little on the bland side. I like my chili to have a little bit of a kick to it.
Mm.
And what I do is I'll put in some spicy packs of either chili seasoning or just taco seasoning. You can just use like spicy taco seasoning in there, and it gives it a great kick. And of course, Texas Pete. To me, chili isn't anything without the Texas Pete.
Right. Well, see, that's why I don't make it because I don't like hot stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I let them do it.
Yeah, he is a scooter hacker, I-386. Yeah, he is. He actually brought him to a friend of his, and he actually redesigned them for us. It was a metal. Actually, Dad designed it, but they fabricated. I'm sorry, I didn't
Mhm.
say that right.
But tell them why. What happened?
Well, the battery. The problem was that two things. One, the
He
way it was
flipped.
designed. First, the battery kept dying, and two, it was very top heavy. There
Mhm.
wasn't enough wheelbase on it, and he actually flipped backwards one
Off it.
time.
The
Yeah,
whole
so
thing went over with him.
we had no option at that point. We had to be redesigned. Yeah, Chris Barlow goes, can't eat chili too. I like sweet chili. Yeah, like I said, it just depends. Mom does not like chili very hot at all. Dad and I
Mm.
like it. I like it medium. Dad likes it really hot, spicy. But see, I like to have a good seasoning base to it. You can have the heat, that's fine. But if it's not seasoned properly, I won't eat it.
Oh no, is that the house you grew up in?
That is the house you grew up in? No, no. We moved here in '98. Actually, moved into
7.
this house
Yeah,
in
98.
'99. Well,
Yeah.
I
We moved
say
here in
'99. We moved here
right, right.
Like
Christmas
Christmas
of
Day
98.
or the day before Christmas of
But we
'98.
moved to Virginia in 97.
Moved to Virginia in '97. Before that, we lived in a little area. Well, it was Carmel, New York, basically. For those of you that don't know exactly where it is, it's in the Hudson Valley, and we loved it up there. But the
Mhm.
problem was here. Sneak in.
You were
You're
born.
cut off here.
You were born there.
I was born there, but the taxes were getting really high, and we realized that we wouldn't have the money to continue to live there,
To
pay
retire.
to
When I
retire,
retired, yeah,
basically.
we wanted to move somewhere that was more affordable to retire. And you were going into high school. We figured it was a opportune time to move. Plus, we had visited Virginia a lot when we had our motorhome, and we liked the area. Wanted to stay
Hmm.
somewhere where it was had the season still, not too hot all the time. And yeah,
So that kind of ruled out
that's why we
Florida or
decided to move.
Georgia. Sorry, Tony. I
Right,
couldn't live
right.
that
New York's
far south.
beautiful. I mean, New York is really beautiful, but it's just very high.
Yeah, it is.
It's very
It's
expensive to live down around, in the suburbs near this. If you're an hour
mm,
and a half, 2 hours from the city, it's still kind of expensive to live. So
mm.
sustaining that when you're retired on a fixed income is not easy.
It really is, and it would surprise a lot. It surprised a lot of people that even going upstate more than that, even as you get towards Rochester and Syracuse area, um, the housing is cheaper, but the taxes tend to still be very high because it's still New York State,
Hmm.
and hopefully they're going to fix that sooner or later because the problem I think is New York City has very high taxes and that spills into all the other parts of New York State, and it's really a shame because it's a gorgeous state
That's for you.
to live in, especially upstate. You guys have seen it in my vlogs. Rolling hills, beautiful scenery. It is a little cold in the winter. They have
Hmm.
longer winters, but a very nice place to live, other than the fact that a lot of people just can't afford to live there.
No, and a lot of people, when you say you're from New York, they always think you're from New York City. They never look at it where
Mhm,
they have, you go up to the Adirondacks or the Catskills, you have beautiful mountains and lakes, or
mhm.
you go down to Long Island and you have beautiful beaches. So really, it has pretty much everything Virginia has, because Virginia has mountains out in the west and has the beaches and everything. It's just that the winters are a little longer in New York.
Let's see what that is true. Let's see what else we got here. Tyler's asking me, how's your iMac doing? You can kind of see it back there. Where am I pointing? I
I'll
can't do
move.
it. There we go. It's doing okay. The very few times I actually use it. I'll be honest with you guys. I still cannot get used to the Apple OS. I use it mainly to do video streaming. Watch YouTube videos, watch Netflix. Sometimes, if I have somebody else using this computer, I'll go over there and do some of my work on that. But yeah, still cannot get used to it. It's terrible to say. I know that there are a lot of you guys out there that are Mac lovers. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. I cannot get used to the operating system. I tried using iMovie one time to edit a video. It was okay, but I really didn't see any added benefit for the type of videos I did, especially when it comes to the vlogs, over using Movie Maker, and where it takes me maybe takes me 5, 10, 20, say anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes to edit a vlog with Windows Movie Maker. That took me over an hour, and I can see it continually to do that. So for me, it just makes more sense to use my main computer. And to be honest with you guys, that Mac may be going. I've had some people making me pretty substantial offers on it. So I might actually be selling that Mac, and I think I may just put another PC there. I know some of you guys are gonna object to that, and I'm sorry, but I don't use it that much.
Somebody lives in Somers. Somebody they did too. Up the road from
Somers.
Somers, that is why we moved also.
Oh, okay, Barbara
See, not
McNamara in
just
Somers. Didn't she used to work somewhere near Somers? Was it Pepsi? Was it near
I'm
Somers?
not familiar with the name.
I'm trying to remember.
No, Pepsi's in
In
Purchase.
Purchase, that's right. Because
Mm.
she worked at for PepsiCo
PepsiCo
back
for
in the
like, yeah,
'70s.
and 80s. And
Yeah,
80s.
early '80s, up
Early
until I
80s.
was born, pretty
Right.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let me see. Bear with me for a second, guys. For some reason, my live chat is not working. Here we go. Chris Bartlett wrote, nope, I'm a PC man. Linux is good, but like Windows 7. Yep, I agree.
Me
I've
too.
used Linux in the past, Ubuntu more specifically. I've played a little bit with Red Hat Linux and Linux Mint. When I do use Linux, Ubuntu's always been my favorite. The only issue I have with Linux is the compatibility with certain devices. I've had issues. Pretty much every computer I've loaded Linux on has either had an issue with the video card, the sound card, or the network adapter. So
Ah.
I pretty much stopped playing around with Linux maybe a year or two ago. But you never know. If I can get the right system built, I might set up a Linux system as a new music server. But for now, my Windows 2000 system does the job just fine. And that's actually a Pentium 3 based computer from 1999. That thing is still running strong. I keep it cleaned out physically. I do my periodic hardware checks. It's just been rock solid. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Barbara said about Pepsi being in Somers. I just want to say, when I worked for PepsiCo, I was there initially. I was in Greenwich with one of the
Mm-hmm.
divisions they had there, and we were like the second division to move into the new headquarters in Purchase. And I think they built the Pepsi in Somers after I left. So I
Later
was,
on,
yeah,
yeah.
I never worked in Somers. I worked for PepsiCo in Purchase
In
the whole
Purchase,
time.
yeah. It was definitely in
But I
Purchase.
heard they did build in Somers.
Tyler asked me, what do you think of the iPhone 10? Um, I'm really not the person to ask about that. Again, like I said, I'm not really an Apple fan specifically. From the news that I've read, I've heard a lot of bad about it. Basically saying it's not as innovative as it needs to be, especially at the $1,000 price point that it's set at. Do I think it'll be successful? Yes. Let's face it, it's an Apple device. Apple could give you a solid brick of gold, charge $1 million for it, and people would still find it fashionable. I'm sorry, it's true. It is absolutely true. And by no means am I putting Apple down. Apple has made amazing inroads. I mean, when you think about it, the late 90s, or say mid to late 90s, they were on the verge of bankruptcy, and they've done phenomenally well for themselves. But the way I look at Apple is the way I would look at a Tiffany glass, a Tiffany piece of glass. You buy it to have bragging rights, and to me, that's about it.
They are pretty.
They are. They are. But that's what it is. It's for bragging rights.
Right.
Do I think you should upgrade from your, what is it, the iPhone 7 or the 6? It depends. It just depends on what you want to do. If you think the $1,000 is worth it for the bragging rights, absolutely. If you're trying to just upgrade your phone to get the latest and the greatest technology, thinking that it's going to be a lot better than what you had previously, then no, I would say stick with your iPhone 6, iPhone 7, because generally for most users, those phones have enough features to carry you in probably another 5 or 10 years.
Got a bunch of questions.
Let's see. I can see I'm buffering again here. I hope you guys don't have to wait too long. Tyler wrote, Apple is getting too high, and I agree with you, but they are good. I'm sticking with my iPhone 6s Plus. 128 gigabytes, had it a year, works great. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to complain about Apple devices. That they're definitely rock solid for what they are. Again, just not my cup of tea.
Oh, it's not in there anymore. Pepsi, I guess, in Somers. Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, big
Did not
building
know
in
that.
Somers. Pepsi was no longer there. I guess they probably consolidated, just like most companies are nowadays in
Interesting.
this economic climate.
Glad to
But
know
yeah,
that.
again, we have not been up in that area for quite a few years
It's
now.
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Excuse me, guys. I need to go grab something to drink real quick. So you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and bring this live stream to a close. Mom and I are getting kind of tired, so I'm going to do this maybe about 5 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and close it. Let's see. Go ahead and throw me the rest of your questions.
But somebody was asking if you use a vacuum to clean out your
inside of the PC. Let's see, who was asking me that? Chris Bartlett. Yes, but it depends. You got to be very careful when using a vacuum to clean out your PC. Don't use the metal nozzle itself. What you want to do is get an attachment that's plastic, and then just go ahead with the crevice. Usually a crevice tool. I also use what's called a what is it, upholstery cleaner. Let me go grab it real quick. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about.
Oh, just leave me here by myself. You just abandoned me. A cinnamon flavored cola, Tyler. I never heard of that. Oh, Barbara, you said they sold the building and went to White Plains. Interesting. A cinnamon flavored toast is a cinnamon flavored Pepsi. It's new. Never saw it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about. This is actually what fits on. This is what they call an upholstery brush. And this is my favorite because this will actually get into all the little nooks and crannies. What I'll actually do, depending on how powerful your vacuum is, you can actually stick this over the CPU fan, the case fan, and lightly brush around it, and that gets all the dust out. And you want to make sure you get all the dust out of the heatsink as well, and that'll help you clean all the dust out of there, because I've actually seen computers in the past, people that are not diligent about cleaning their systems out. Systems literally cook themselves because the dust built up on the heatsink, and the fan couldn't do its job, and the CPU actually cooked itself. Mark Covington, how are you doing this evening? We're doing really well. We're a little tired. That's why we're going to end this thing pretty soon. But yeah, other than that, we're doing pretty well.
Jonathan Domenech for both Miss Roy and Matt. What's your favorite season? Mine is winter. No.
What's yours? What's your favorite
Fall or
season?
spring? I don't know. I like fall probably the best.
I would say fall for me too. I
Mhm.
really enjoy it. We get a
Oh,
lot of trick or treaters
yeah.
during
Mm.
Halloween. A lot of really cool things happen around here in the fall.
And I like
Uh,
decorating. You know me. I do a
yes,
lot of fall
yeah.
decorating
If you guys have
starting in
watched,
October, November up to Christmas.
if you guys watch the vlogs, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll be catching some more of that in the near
Mhm.
future. But yes, Mom is great when it comes to decorating. What did he say?
I love summer, love the heat. Oh,
Oh no,
somebody likes
no.
the heat, but you don't like the heat.
No, I
No.
can't handle. Not, you know what? It's funny because when we went out to Vegas, I really was fine out there because it was a very dry heat. We had days there they were 105, 110 actual temperature, but because it's the desert, we're looking at maybe at that time 10 to 15% humidity,
Mhm.
and I was fine with that. What really gets bad around here are the days when it gets to 90, 95 degrees and 90, 80 to 90% humidity.
Mhm.
Those are the days I just have to stay inside because I literally, when you walk outside, it actually feels like you can't breathe. Your lungs fill up with this fluid. It's terrible. But you know what? I'm not going to be negative because we are just about done with that. It's the end of September, getting into October, and the weather around here just turns absolutely beautiful around this time. All right, one more question. Go ahead and read that
Oh,
one.
hey Matt, when do you think you'll come to Newport News? I sure would like to get to meet you and your parents and hopefully Baxter and Milo.
Well, I don't know. We're like I said, we're gonna have to see what happens the next month or so. I do want to do a meetup.
Hmm,
Yeah,
be
we'll
fun,
figure
yeah.
it out. It's been kind of crazy around here with us going out of town. Just things have been happening around here. I really haven't had a chance to plan anything, but yeah, it's definitely something to think about for the future. All right, we'll do one more question before we go. Stephen Barber. I like fall. The leaves change and pumpkin spice coffee creamer and pumpkin bagels. Oh yeah, yeah, Coffee Mate. It was funny. I just
Mhm.
saw that commercial. I heard they have their seasonal creamers out. I'm gonna have to pick some up. I do like the pumpkin spice. I tried the mint last year. That one wasn't for
Mhm.
me, but yeah, the pumpkin spice is absolutely delicious.
Well, we love pumpkin. I have to say one thing. If you go to BJ's, they have these apple cider donuts just at this season, probably just this month and next month, and they are so good.
This is BJ's
BJ's
Wholesale
Wholesale
Club.
Club. And
Uh,
they're seasonal. They just have them for a couple
mhm,
months in the fall. And what
yeah.
I like to do is eat them with a piece of sharp cheddar cheese.
She likes them. They're okay. I enjoy them, but not
They're
as
my
much as she
favorites.
does. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Please continue to remember to like and subscribe and lean in here. Have
Have a
a
blessed
blessed day,
day,
everybody,
everybody.
and night.